Hello, eRank. Welcome to a Thursday Q&A, and we're going to try again our cursed stream of Is Etsy slow now? Because we attempted this a good 3 weeks ago, I think, and the internet totally refused. So we're going to try this again, but we've got loads to be talking about today. I do actually want to start with a non-eRank thing because people might be surprised. I don't know if you've seen this yet, Starla, but YouTube is showing top fans in our chat. Yeah, I just found that out when I logged on. So if you hate it or if you love it, I didn't know it was happening until we logged on, but it's just basically they're ranking people by number of comments. It's kind of fun. It doesn't mean anything. Oh, is there a bad echo?
Is it on my end? Maybe I have you too loud on my speakers.
I'm not hearing anything. Guys,
can you show hey, Mr. Moore, come here, check this out. Look what YouTube did.
What did YouTube do?
You get
oh, cool.
So we can see live the top fans. Isn't that cool?
That's cool.
Yeah, I believe it resets every live stream. And the good news is the main complaints I saw of this were for people on a monetized chat. If you pay, then you get top fans more, but eRank isn't monetized, so it's just on comments. You don't get anything other than a crown, but it's a bit of fun, I think.
Love it. Maybe, well, I wonder if do all channels have it? Will my channel have it? I guess we'll find out tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. So you have to go and watch Starla tomorrow because then we'll see if it works. I've not done live on my channel for ages, so I got a surprise when I saw this. Yeah, but cool.
All right.
New features are fun. Yeah. Oh, and speaking of new features, we've got enough people here that we can do this secret thing. I did get permission to, well, this is live on eRank anyway, but I did get permission to show it. So has anyone seen what new thing we've got? I might have, see if anyone spots it. I might see if I can zoom in on this if my computer will let me. Where's the zoom?
I love this so much. I love this so much.
Yeah, this is so cool. So has anyone spotted this? Anyone know what I'm talking about here?
I didn't know it was active. I mean, I knew that we were teasing it, but I didn't know that it was like ready to go. Oh, I'll have something to talk about tomorrow. Yay.
Yeah, I just found it by accident when I was researching about fairy core and stuff, and I tried mushroom again, and I was like, oh, that's new. I'm allowed to mention that.
Now, this is only in the new version of the keyword tool. So if your keyword tool doesn't look like this, you need to click on the orange banner when you access the keyword tool to switch over to the new beta version.
Exactly. It's well worth it. We appreciate it if you'll check out the beta versions when the option is there, because that gives us the chance. Some things people love and some things people don't like so much, and if you tell us, we can fix it before it goes properly live. So we've been testing out the keyword tool beta for quite a while now. It's very close to switching over. I think we've sort of tried a couple of times, but the team are just trying to make sure everything's working there. But now that we've got cool new features there, I think it's well worth using. So has anyone seen it, or are we still all just chatting to get points?
Someone said high conversion. Yeah.
Exactly. And that I will see if I can hover over it and show you. So this is saying we've seen a lot of shoppers adding to cart and purchasing after searching this keyword in the last 30 days. So I will explain. Obviously, this is not data from Etsy. This is our own special data that we have. So there's a limit to other data. It doesn't come directly from Etsy, so we're not telling you exactly how much is converting or not. And you're going to see this on more popular keywords, but it is saying we're able to say with good enough confidence that these keywords that have it, when people are searching for that term, they're not just searching, they're putting items in their baskets and they're buying them. So it's cool. Yeah.
Someone said, but it's just a one-word keyword. Yeah, of course. And when you stack it with another keyword, you're going to rank for both of those. So it's not necessarily that one-word keywords aren't being searched for, but you're still, this counts if someone is searching for mushroom bag. Even though bag is there, you're still seeing high conversion for mushroom. If it's mushroom room or mushroom outfit, because the word mushroom is in there, you're still going to see that. So even when you're, stacking these terms together, don't just look at the full keyword itself. Look at each of those individual root words as well, because you're going to rank for those individually and together.
Exactly. Bear in mind, keywords, what we're showing here is what customers are searching for. How you use them in your tags is a different thing. So customers can search for one word. They can search for full sentences that are bigger than a tag. We have to decide, are people searching for this? And something like mushroom, in general, people aren't coming on Etsy searching for a mushroom, like the plant. A few people are, but not many. Most people are searching for a mushroom thing. So you want to dig a little bit deeper, see what types of things. In fact, while we've got the tool open, you can scroll down and see like the related keywords and maybe get an idea. What is it that people, if I click on the graph here, I can sort by what people are searching for. I've got this so zoomed in, it looks stupid now, but you can see the top ones. So mushroom gifts of earrings and home decor and stickers and things. So that gives you an idea of the top things that are being searched for. But you've got an idea, like Starla said, of that root word, that people are not just looking for earrings, they're looking for mushroom earrings potentially. So it's definitely a cool thing. I was super happy when I saw that.
Someone said, is high conversion equal added to basket? It's adding to basket and purchasing, right?
Yep. And we do have, I'm going to press the wrong button. Nope, got it again. We do have the tooltip here if you're ever unsure of anything. So the high conversion, seen a lot of shoppers adding to cart and purchasing after searching for this keyword in the last 30 days. So our data, the data we're getting is being super cool. It's counting that for the 30 days. So if someone's searched for mushroom and purchased and added to basket, we're even seeing if they're like purchasing it within 30 days. So yeah, sounds like we've got really cool data there. Let's all this is way above me, but it's very cool. I'd love to play around with some of this data.
Questions are lighting up today. Let's see. Does eRank show or guesstimate shop revenue? So if you're in the competitor listings, right, then that is guesstimated. It's about 80-ish% accurate because Etsy doesn't disclose that. So Anthony and the team basically built an algorithm that helps us to kind of estimate based on overall sales numbers and probably a bunch of other smarty pants stuff to give it a decent average. But for your own shop, it's better to go into your listing audit overview page. That's going to show you your own shop revenue with more accuracy. Now, yesterday I did have a discussion with Anthony. Since we do have access to your own shop revenue, if you've connected your shop to eRank, if you try to put your own shop into the competitor research tools, you're going to see an estimate when we really do have that data if you're looking in the listing audit. So I believe that we're going to be working to attempt to make sure that your shop data that we do have access to is also displaying when you are looking yourself up in the competitor research tools. But for now, it's best to go to the listing audit page if you want to see your revenue. Go to the competitors if you want the closest best guess that we can get.
Yep. As Starla said, in any of your competitors, I just pulled up the top shop on Etsy there, Caitlin Minimalist, and you can see their estimated revenue. You can see it for the whole shop, or you can see, estimated sales and revenue for individual listings as well. But don't Don't take it as gospel, as Starla says. It's maybe about an 80%, hopefully a little bit better, but at least an 80% accuracy. But it's definitely enough to give you trends, to say this is a really good thing, this is going well, but it's not perfect because Etsy doesn't give us that numbers.
Let's see. Michael had asked, how do I stay motivated during a summer slump? Go take those product photos. I know that's something that you've been putting off. It's one of the things that during the last critique, we told you to work on. That summertime is the best time to do that, because it's like, I hate taking product photos. It takes a bunch of time. But what I would recommend is head to your craft store, especially since you do a lot of earrings and jewelry. Go to your craft store, go to the scrapbook section where they have all the different scrapbook papers, because they're decent sized sheets. Buy a bunch of those. They're only a couple cents. Get a bunch, lay your earrings out on them, and do some product photography experiments and play around and see, what background you like and, what could work for your shop. And then just spend the summer having fun and taking photos and getting yourself in a good flow. That's a really great way to utilize that time, because it gives you a chance to experiment, find the style that you like. We really only have about a month and a half left of summer slump, because Halloween rolled out so early this year. And I think that's because of the big Summerween trend. Are you guys doing, is Summerween exploding over there, Pam, or is that just here?
Not really, no.
Yeah,
most things are mainly you.
Yeah, there's ghosts and pool floaties and little skeletons and sunglasses and bikinis. Because of that, though, I think that we're going to see shopping trends move forward a month sooner. I've already noticed it with Halloween. That's also going to mean that Thanksgiving and Christmas shoppers are probably going to be a little earlier this year. So really, you only have a little bit of summer slump left. Go take those product photos. Really, it's a great time to, get that done. And there's good natural lighting as well.
Well, that's what today's subject is. So I've actually, Stella doesn't know this, I've actually got a couple of slides that we can dive into that and then get back to the questions.
Yeah.
One quick tip to add to Starla's for those in the UK, I don't know if this is the same elsewhere. In usually DIY and decorating stores, wallpapers, you can usually get we sample a couple of foot of wallpaper. So it's definitely worth doing that to get a good photography background. But yeah, let's see if I can get this to work. Yep. So really basic, but I thought I'd go through some fun things and then we'll talk about it and then we'll get to your questions. So is Etsy slow? I think the fact that we've just spoke about the summer slump, yes, it's always slow this time of the year, but we do have facts and data. So from the Etsy quarterly report, you've probably seen my graphs and everything all the time. But every year since Etsy's been reporting its finances, there's a slump throughout the year. These are for each year, each of the quarters, and it goes down, 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 and then up for the quarter four. And yes, 2025's definitely, it's not just been going down quarter by quarter, it's been going down year on year for the past few years. It's still a lot of money. That's billions of dollars. That's a lot of money, but yeah, it definitely, it's harder this time on average. Some shops will do great, but most of us do see a slump. But on a positive, I had a look in eRanks site tool, and this is showing the reach of Etsy in the US. Where it's standing compared to the other websites, and
Spring
it's actually
was worse. Spring was way worse than summer this year.
Yeah, that's been that we don't usually see that much of a growth. So spring was really terrible. So that's kind of positive. Hopefully it will stay up there. Hopefully some of you are seeing some sales. I think even with economy and world and everything, you sort of get to a point where people just spend money. They've been cautious for a while. Yeah, I know I am. I need my Amazon account paused for me just now because it's not good.
Pam, can you guess where the tariff announcement was?
Is that what? Oh, wow, of course. I was wondering, is that some kind of glitch in our data or something?
No. If you look at Amazon and everybody, it does the same. All e-commerce saw that same dip on the same day. So
It's amazing what difference certain things can have, isn't it? Wow, that is crazy. But it does just show at least it's still doing better. But this is one number I do keep an eye on, is the ratio to buyers to sellers. This is why Etsy's been making it harder to open a new shop and stuff. They know we've got too many sellers for the number of buyers. It would be nice if we had more buyers coming in, but basically you want this graph to be going up and it's going down. So this does make it harder. It means there's less money being spent and sort of less sellers for the number of buyers. So there's less to go around to each of us. So it is tough. There's no denying it. But what are the things you can do to get through the slump? So here's just with some of the things that Starla said, and this is just what I pulled together. So I need all of your ideas. I know Starla will have tons more as well, but
maybe it looks like you've got it all. Everybody grab a screenshot.
I've been hanging around with Starla for some time, so I learned some things. So I think first thing we can and should be doing is plan for the seasons ahead. As Starla said, like Halloween is already kicking off. We really should be thinking about Christmas and everything. So get out there researching these trends and the seasons like Fairy Core and Halloween. So if you missed, this is just a random coincidence that myself and Starla just dropped trend videos this week on our own channels, but I discovered a whole thing with fairies and fairy core that is, I know it's not like a new trend, but it's a hanging in there and doing pretty cool trend, as we've seen with mushroom. And Starla did a great talk on all the Halloween stuff that's happening. I really enjoyed that.
I'll link both. I did Halloween. Pam did her trends. Let's see. I'll link that for you guys down below because it was so funny. She messaged me and she's like, I didn't know you were doing trends.
I was literally just uploading my video and Starla's came out. It's like, you did a trends? It's like we communicate or something.
On a telepathic level.
Yep. Definitely just now is a good time to be making your holiday stock, whether it's making new ranges or if you have a big seller for the holiday period and you can make some in advance, it's the time to be doing it. Although all my stuff's custom, I sort of start making some blanks and just put them away. So I'm ready to get going. And we say this every year, but stock up on supplies. Those packing materials and everything, they can get harder to get coming up to the holiday season. So order them now, stick them in a back room. You know, boxes are flat packed. Materials don't have to take up much space. Get everything stuck in a cupboard somewhere, get ready for it. And then this is the one that Starla was just saying. Basically, upgrade your visuals. It's in Scotland, definitely. It doesn't get dark here just now. This is a great time for doing photo shoots. Like, we don't get sunshine very often, but we get daylight a lot just now. So this is a really good time for doing photo shoots. And also, if you're fairly far north like me, the lights, the golden hour and all that kind of nice light, it lasts so much longer because the sun's taking so much time to go down. So it's a great time for photo shoots. And also, while you're doing that, batch film for your social media and stuff. Make your funny reels and TikToks and everything else while you're doing it. Have a bit of fun. If your shop's not doing much, do something else. And one that I love, if you can't get outside, set yourself up, make your little photography area. I mean, both myself and Starla are filming. We have an area set up. It's much easier. Like, I can come in, switch on all my lights, switch on my camera, and I'm ready to roll. In the days when I started, I had to clean the dining room table, drag lights out of a cupboard, hang stuff on the wall, do all the things. And it's the same with my my Etsy photography, if things are easier to set up, I'm more likely to be able to do it. I'm more likely to go, oh, I want to take some pictures of that. So that's a good time to set
You can
up.
also, for me, when I'm taking product photos, something that I invested in was just one of those big plastic, like Rubbermaid totes, one of those big like storage boxes. And I have it just stuffed full of props and, you know, florals and different backdrops. And then when it comes time to take my product photos, I just grab that tote out of my office and pop it open. And I'm like, oh, here's some little pumpkins. Here's some little snowflakes. And then I can sit and arrange them all nice and neat. And then they go all back in the tote and I just close it up and put it away. So just, you know, if you're someone who likes to do all the stylized photos with lots of little trinkets and stuff, just get yourself a nice big storage bin, fill that sucker up. And then when it comes time to take photos, you've already got all your seasonal stuff ready to go. And I mean, honestly, going to the craft stores right now in the US, going to places like Hobby Lobby and Michael's, and I guess Joann's is gone now. But a lot of that stuff is already on sale. So you can get it super duper cheap. So you can start taking those photos.
That's such a good idea. I'm just sitting here trying not to look around because I think I've got Christmas trees hidden in the corner there, and they really should be like little tiny Christmas trees. I really should have them tidy somewhere. I will be going. I'll be going on Amazon and looking for these things when I come off this stream. Yeah, guys, let us know any other ideas you've got for photography or preparing the season ahead. But the third thought I had was it's time to tidy up your shop. Jessica's been talking so much on Threads, and there will be some things coming up on TikTok from her. Just making sure your shop's complete with policies and everything. We talk about it all the time, but so many people don't do it. Just make sure your policies are set up right, because Etsy ranks all your listings higher if your shop's complete.
And it's so funny that you have this in here, Pam, because tomorrow's episode of the Friday Bean, I still have Christmas, like the listing photos that say place your order before blah blah blah. I still have some listings with that photo in them, and there's still snow on my cover photo just because I haven't really we haven't done anything with our Etsy shop this year. So we're gonna do a live tidying up session, going through exactly what you have here. You know, reevaluate your policies. Even if you've already got policies in place, double check. Maybe you learned something new, or maybe there's a new FAQ that you want to add based on a terrible experience that you had with a return issue. You know, you learn a lot throughout the year, and sometimes you might review your policies and realize, oh crap, I need to cover this in my policies. I wasn't even thinking about that.
That's a good idea. That is what I'm going to do tomorrow while you're on the bean. So everybody watch Starla and take it as this is your point. We're all going to sit and tidy up our shops. I think that's such a good idea. We need to, like, the date every year, a couple of times a year, go and check this. We're going to sit down and do it with Starla. That sounds good. Now this is the one. It depends how busy your shop is, but it can be a good time to test pricing or different bundling kits, shipping prices, different shipping things. The problem is don't jump to conclusions without enough data. If your shop's really quiet and you make some changes, you might think you've killed your shop, but it might have just been quiet anyway. So make sure you're like a good A/B testing to have things to compare to just now, basically, because it suddenly might be a little quiet next week and it's nothing to do with what you did in your shop, but it is definitely a good time. Look, Etsy's testing things like crazy just now, so it must be a good time to test things, definitely. And while in testing, review and test your SEO. It's a good time. Don't kill your best-selling listings, but look at the keywords that are good, that worked for you last Christmas. Look at the stuff that's not necessarily working for you. Look at what your competition's got. Dig out some new keywords. It's a good time for that as well.
And Kat said, I'm checking all my alt text as well, as Etsy's AI is often way off. We actually had a seller who had an axolotl themed product listed, and it replaced her alt text with something about Stitch, like from Lilo and Stitch.
Oh no. Yeah.
So definitely double check your alt text, because Etsy started automatically AI generating it, and it appears to be very wrong. And it also appears to often include the props that are in your product photos as potentially being something for sale.
Yeah, which is even worse, because then if a customer says not as expected, because look what my screen reader told me I was getting. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's not good. Hmm. And okay, so the final things that I'd thought of that we can be doing is the whole capture and grow your audience. This is a thing I'm really bad at, but we should all be planning to do it most of the time. If you're really busy, you want to be capturing your audience. If you're really quiet, you want to be capturing your audience because you might get busy. But think about building an email list. Get your social media posts scheduled out. Plan what you're going to be doing for the rest of the year. You know, if you're sitting on forums saying, is it quiet or is it just me? And everyone's sitting, you know, in the little group complaining about that, spending hours complaining. You could have done a year's worth of social media posts in the time you were complaining that Etsy was quiet. And as we said, do your holiday collections and things, but you can also have seasonal ones like Summerween. You could have been see it as, if is there anything, losing the ability to talk, is there anything in your shop that would work for Summerween or any kind of summer type things? Can you drop any kind of exclusives just now for your followers? Fun things just to get a bit of excitement. Etsy is quiet just now, but there are still people out there with money, and we still should be doing what we can to drive our own traffic as well. It's like we say, getting seen on Etsy is a puzzle with lots of pieces, but also selling's a puzzle with lots of pieces. Don't just rely on Etsy. We've got to rely on ourselves too.
I've been shopping more on Etsy the last 2 or 3 weeks than I have since early spring. And I think it's because I'm really noticing how great their actual recommended feed is. When you perform a search on mobile from your actual Etsy home screen, where they give you that like infinite scroll of products, you know, where you can just like infinitely scroll through almost like a Pinterest style feed, they have gotten so good with the curation. I've been sitting and experimenting, just searching, you know, random things that I'm interested in to see how well this feed will curate. A couple weeks ago, it was just giving me very Etsy style products, cool things, but not things I personally am interested in. And now, if you perform 3 or 4 searches of things that you enjoy, that is the whole feed. And because of that, I noticed that I'm spending more money on Etsy. I bought Mark some little, they're like little worms. They're little smiling, cute little worms in the shape of a heart. Just a little figure. And I bought some crocheted hats. I'm spending a bunch of money on Etsy all of a sudden. So
That sounds so good, because I know a couple of years ago I tried to see if you could train the algorithm, and you know, I searched for loads of similar keywords and stuff and nothing. So now if they're doing that, yeah, that's much better, because that's why I shop on some of the other sites that I shouldn't shop on, because their algorithms are good. Basically, they hook me in. I'm not going to buy from that. That's that's nice. I'm not going to. Constantly, you're like, you've got me. So that's what Etsy's supposed to do. So good if they are.
And on that note, I actually just turned Anthony on to shopping direct through the Shop app. I don't know if you guys, you know, when you place an order and it's like track it in Shop, and then Shop tells you when to expect everything, and you get like Shop cash. I have actually started using the Shop app for shopping because it's better. For one, Amazon, I'm noticing that you get a bunch of junk if you're shopping on Amazon. You get more small businesses and Shopify sites and little creative artists. If you can't find what you want on Etsy, Shop is always my next destination. So for those of you who have Shopify sites, I just started my Shopify. I just launched it last night. It's taken me several months to build it, and I finally launched it. But within Shopify, you can integrate to the Shop app and build out a storefront through the Shop app. And I think that the Shop app, it's going to be the new thing because you get like cash back on purchases and you get cash that you can spend. And I think that, you know, when they send you notifications, it's like, you've got $7 to spend in the Shop app. I think that there's going to be a little bit of scarcity with that because you only have like so many days to spend the cash that you get, and their push notifications are great. Just a thought for those of you who have Shopify websites, I would definitely consider trying to set that up because it only took me a few seconds. Now, the one thing that I haven't figured out, I have been doing some keyword searches because I'm in a very unsaturated niche, and I'm doing keyword searches very specific for my style of products within the Shop app, and it's not reaping any of my listings in their search. Maybe it takes time. So I'm unsure of how well their SEO is right now, but again, you know, it's just another new way that I think that people are going to start shopping in the future because there's the incentive there of potentially getting a little bit of money to spend by being loyal to that app. And most big websites now are integrated with Shop anyway.
Oh, cool. I hadn't heard of that, so I'm going to check that out myself.
Yeah, it's really intuitive. Setting up Shopify wasn't, but
yeah, I saw some of your questions on that. I think Shopify can integrate with YouTube, can't it? You can put your Shopify, you can tag your links
in your shelf.
Yep.
Yeah, I think so. I don't have any way to test it yet, just because what I create isn't in line with my YouTube channel. But I might actually create another channel just to see if connecting them is a possibility. But yeah, Shopify, it's been a heck of a learning curve, but at the same time, I really enjoy how many integrations and things. Like I've got my email list hooked right into it. I've got so many, I was able to customize all the emails that go out, you know, at different parts of the transaction where, you know, your order's out for delivery, your order couldn't be delivered. Oh no. Like I was able to customize any scenario and it will trigger an email. It's just very intuitive, you know, and on Etsy, they send those emails to customers, but we don't get to like customize them or add anything to them. So it's I don't know. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. It is quite expensive, but for those who are building, you know, Etsy shops and you already are making decent sales, I mean, it seems like a pretty darn good way to branch out.
Yeah, sounds like a good next step to be making, I think. Mm-hmm. Something I keep meaning to look into, but I always run out of time. So.
Yeah, not enough hours in the day.
Shopify also integrates with TikTok. Yep.
Yeah, that's going to be my next step, is building out a TikTok and integrating over and doing TikTok shop.
I tried to open a TikTok shop. I got lost. Something that I got stuck in a loop of verifications of something or other.
I've heard it's very hard to get it all set up.
Yep. It's so annoying because they go something like, I'd built up a reasonable TikTok account. It's not great, but it was reasonable. So they said, oh, open the shop. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll open the shop. And you go through all the things. It's like, now link your account. But you just went from my account. So how do I link my account? I got stuck with all of that. And you're just like, but I did it from my account. What's the problem?
I was stuck in these just perpetual trying to set up the SPF, DMARC, and DKIM records for everything, literally everything. Bing Webmaster Tools, Google Webmaster Tools, doing the site mapping for all of them. It was just, I cannot imagine the average person with no experience in building like websites and e-com being able to build out a Shopify without taking an entire course. And I know everybody probably assumes like Starla's going to make a course about it. I don't even know if I would be able to. There's already people who do that. it has taken me like 3 months to be able to get this sucker going. I might be able to teach some things, but I don't think I'm the person for it. I considered it, but man, it was a lot to be able to. And I mean, you can skip all that stuff, but if you're wanting to do everything right and give yourself the best possible chance, like indexing your site through Bing, you know, because Microsoft, they that will go out to Yahoo searches, and the service that Amazon owns that starts with an A that you can talk to in your home that I can't say out loud, or else it'll trigger all of yours to turn on. You know, the one that you can talk to. That one is also linked to Bing. So I wanted to, you know, make sure that I was connected to all of them. But so let's go ahead.
I just thought with that saying the name of that thing we're not allowed to say. Yeah, I could control your lights from here, couldn't I?
No, because that's not the one that controls the lights. I'll never tell you which one controls the lights.
That used to be a fun feature on YouTube. I don't know if you remember it. You used to be able to set up, if people did donations, it would flash people's lights. And stuff.
You can still do that. We've watched some Twitch streamers who have we watch one who has a gong, and if someone donates a bunch of money, it'll bang the gong and scare the crap out of them. Different points. But anyway, so Anna had, I assume that this is in reference to the updates to the keyword tool. Can it show up for low competition searches as well?
Oh, is that the new high converting badge? There will be, if you mean for the high converting badge that we've got on the keyword tool. Was it called high converting? It's just new for us, so I don't remember. I went onto a different screen, but that badge, it can show up for lower searched keywords. I mean, I showed you for mushroom, and mushroom isn't like a top tier keyword, but bear in mind, for these keywords that maybe get 10 searches a month or something, we don't have much data for, so that it won't really show up on the super low keywords. But like Starla says, you can look, go further up the tree. Your keyword research often should be starting with these head keywords, with these, you know, more higher competition but more search for keywords, and that gives you sort of the buyer intent, and then the keywords you're looking to rank for to start with, the foot in the door, they're a little lower down the food chain, but you know, you build your way up. But yes, it's unlikely you'll see the badge there. I know we've been playing around with these numbers for some time, and there just isn't enough data for some of the lower keywords.
Let's see, Michael had said, is adding sectional links to your product description is a good idea. Like trying to check out more earrings here, check out more necklaces. I mean, you could. We have no way to know if it helps, but we can say that it won't hurt necessarily. I would put it lower down in the description if you were going to do that. I used to. When I had a huge, my shop was huge and had tons of inventory, and I'm like, hey, if you specifically want to see more dragon necklaces, click here. That was fine, but I think it's worth testing.
Yeah, it's not against the rules, and I don't think it's a bad thing to have a link or two in your description. The problem with your descriptions, with anyone's social media, with everything, is we can go overboard with the amount of links, and people will only do one thing. So best to focus in. So if someone was always looking at a dragon necklace, you could have the chance to show them other dragon necklaces, or perhaps if a lot of people went from buying a dragon necklace to buying dragon earrings, you could say, hey, what about this? Or want it as a bundle? Here's my bundle. Although Etsy do the bundles now, but you could send them to the most likely next place. But just one or two links. I wouldn't stuff something full of links, because people they just get overwhelmed if you give them too much choice.
Yeah. And then Lorenzo, this was based on last week's Q&A, which you weren't here, Pam, but we were talking about the badges. I think that they're still down, right? Are they still down?
I will check and see.
The
But
team
yes,
was working on those for us because
sadly but we know those badges have been so popular, so thank you all for the feedback. That was really cool. Badges are still down.
We'll get those. I mean, I'm sure that they'll get them up probably within the next week. It shouldn't take them too long. Just keep an eye out. So they should come back. But the big discussion last week was about the purpose of them. And he said the last eRank live didn't really explain the kinds, purpose, or benefits of achieving eRank badges. So think of it more as just a way for us to tell you that you're doing a good job. It doesn't mean anything. It's not something that you should hyper fixate on. It's just giving you an idea of where you are compared to other sellers. The purpose is just to make you feel good, to show you how close you are to the top. You do have the option to share them on social media, which, that can be great for building trust, just sharing a victory with your audience, saying, hey, you guys, when you guys buy from me, you're supporting like a top Etsy shop, or, you're helping me reach my goal of hitting the top 1% of Etsy shops. The different kinds of badges, I actually don't know what the color correlations are and where they differentiate, but I believe that one of the things we talked about last week, or one of the things that Anthony was wanting to do, was benchmarking the badges so that you know how close you are to the next badge. I know that purple's the best, right?
Yep. The one that I'm never going to reach. The purple should have just been at my level. That's not fair.
Yeah, is it orange and green, orange, purple, green, orange, purple, or orange, green, purple?
I can't remember. Yeah. And I can't even go and check because obviously it's down just now. But I can actually tell you a little more about this because I entirely stole the idea, because it was years ago in a YouTube tool I use. They give us the thing to tell us, congratulations, you got 10,000 subscribers. And I was so excited with that. They made a little badge. I shared it with everybody and that got conversations. Everybody loved it. And I said, this would be so cool to be able to do with my Etsy shop. And I mentioned it to Anthony, and Anthony said, that would be so absolutely cool. And then we forgot about it for like 4 years. So, and then we did it. So it is just literally, this would be so cool. Isn't this fun to do? And that, there's no benefit other than, sometimes it's nice to let your family and friends know how you're doing, in your socials and stuff. And, sometimes let's be honest that you don't want to spam them all the time. But if you show something like that and they go, oh, I didn't know you had a shop, I'll check it out. That's really cool. Can I buy that? But don't use it as a marketing thing. But that's a side effect that might happen. But it's fun. And in the communities, what we hoped would happen, which absolutely did, was people would post and go, look at my badge, and other people would go, hey, we're twinning, look, I've got this, and everyone just had fun. I think I might be making up the numbers, but I was told that on the day the badges went live, 20% of people who opened the dashboard downloaded their badge.
That's awesome.
So it was a really crazy number. So not everything has to be important. Some things are just a wee pat on the back and to make you smile, basically.
We're fun people. Like, we want to do fun things, right? Like,
yeah.
I share my vidIQ every time I hit a new benchmark for vidIQ, which is the YouTube equivalent. I share mine all the time. I mean, I just shared one a couple days ago talking about how many views my video or my channel has gotten. So it's just a way to, pat yourself on the back.
That's it. And I think a lot of people, I think you don't realize how well you're doing. It's quite sad in many ways, but once you've had a few sales, you're doing better than most of other sellers. So we get this all the time. It's like, eRanks telling me that I'm in the top 10% Etsy sellers. Is this true? I'm not even making a living. It's like, congratulations. Yes, it's true. And sadly, yeah, you're, you're not going to, people aren't doing as well as you think. But that's the same
based
with
on
everything.
sales numbers too, not revenue.
Yeah, that also. But it's the same with everything, because I think this little eRank YouTube channel we've got, this will be in the top 10% of YouTube channels. No one's going to be making a living off of the eRank YouTube channel. It feels little and fun to us, but it's a huge achievement. Starla's channel being over 100,000, you're in something like the top 1 or 2%, I think. I can't remember. You've got the numbers. Yeah. Yeah, because that's the award Starla gets from YouTube for getting 100,000 subscribers, which tells you how important that is, because not many people get that, and so they send out a big heavy award. So yeah.
And somebody had even said it shows I'm in the top 4%. How accurate is this? This is tapped directly into Etsy's API, correct? Is this one tapped into the API?
Etsy doesn't tell us what percent, but we know how many sales you've had, and we know how many sales the other active shops on Etsy have had. I believe we calculate active shops a little differently than Etsy. So, the numbers won't be exactly the same, but it's, yes, from the API, we get the number of sales other shops have had and the number of sales you've had, and we calculate that. So it's as accurate as the numbers in the Etsy API, which seem pretty accurate for sales.
Yeah, and someone said it's showing I'm 7%, but I'm not sure. My shop is so slow now, no orders for 15 days. But again, keep in mind that most Etsy shops, go watch our stream last week, because Anthony had some slides showing like the percentage of, they weren't slides. He was doing like guessing games with the audience and making people guess like how many Etsy sellers have only made like one sale, or just different metrics like that. I mean, most Etsy sellers, they don't make many sales at all. In fact, I dare say that most Etsy sellers probably haven't even made a single sale. So now that number is going up. Josh Silverman actually did mention that during the last investor report, that the number of new shops who make a sale, what was
in the first, I can't remember. He gave us an actual number. Yes.
Not a month. Was that?
I was going to say 3 months.
That sounds right. Either way, the average number of new sellers who make a sale has gone up significantly. So, that's a good sign. But we also have to remember that a lot of people just start a shop and they don't do what you guys are doing. You guys are on YouTube right now, like trying to learn and asking questions and gathering information and using tools like eRank. Some people, and you guys have scrolled across them on Etsy, some people just list a thing and don't put any keywords, and they just think, okay, it's on Etsy, where's my money? Because
I did that for about 3 or 4 years. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So you get the people like us who'll do that and then eventually learn how to do the thing, or you get the people who do that, have a few sales, say Etsy's terrible, you can't get any sales there, and quit. So bear in mind as well, this is on total sales. It's not on a time period. So you might have had a good bunch of sales a year ago. But let us know, like, as the badges seemed popular, we might be able to add more things to them. I'm going to really annoy the dev team. We might be able to say, you've made the most sales, you're in the top 2% of sellers this year, or you're the best in your street, or tell us the stupid things, and the developers will see if we can make it, after swearing at me quite a lot. But ask us what you'd like to see badges, because we would love to be able to have that where you can share your fun achievements.
I think that Anthony teased during the last stream that he wants to make more badges. So yeah, keep making suggestions. I mean, not all of it's possible. We can only do what we can do with what Etsy allows us to do. So sometimes good ideas end up just not being possible because Etsy doesn't allow us access to some bits of data. But yeah, let's see. Oh, Michelle had said, if we share a link in a listing, do we use the share and save? I would.
Yeah, Etsy say it's not supposed to. Well, it works. It's a tidier link. It looks good. Etsy says it's not supposed to work. Their system's broken. It works. Like, you get the discount.
Okay.
It's only supposed to work if the click came from outside Etsy. But I've shared them in messages. I've shared the link on Etsy, and I have got the credit for people clicking my share and save link. But the worst that'll happen is you won't get the credit for it. You won't get the money off for it, which just now for the next couple of weeks, you're getting the full 6% off your fees if you use the share and save link. So use it everywhere. The worst it will happen is it will still take them to the right place. You just won't get the credit. The best that'll happen is that you won't get fees for their sale. So woohoo.
Let's see. Oh, Kat, I don't know if you were here last week. She said, I'd also love to see badges for sales in individual countries too. We talked about that last week, and Anthony seemed interested in that. I think that he mentioned some limiting factors, but I believe that might be one that he's looking into.
Yeah, that would be cool to say I'm the top seller. Well, it'll be the UK because Etsy doesn't really know what Scotland is properly. It would be nice.
I love that. That's what leads you to YouTube to figure out why we aren't getting sales. Then we go down several rabbit holes, and then we find eRank insanity. Hey, some people find eRank and they go insane because they get access to all this stuff, and they're like, man, I thought I just had to list things on the internet. I didn't even know what this search engine octopus was all about.
Yeah. Oh, and that leads to a good point that we have had, and we totally understand. A few people have been asking things about, can we have a real, it was described as an idiot's guide. I'm going to call it a beginner's guide, but a real idiot's guide to some of the tools of not just how to use them, but what is that? What is average searches? What is this? What's important here? So a week on Tuesday, myself and Bryan are going to do that for the listing audit tool here on YouTube. Awesome. The link is already up in this YouTube channel if you want to click on it to save it. It'll be the same time as this, but a week on Tuesday. So hopefully that'll help. It's going to be, it's going to be really basic. Myself and Bryan go down rabbit holes all the time. We'll start off basic and then we'll get where you want, but hopefully that'll help you all a little bit if you're struggling with, you've been down the rabbit hole and you've gone insane when you hit eRank, because we know there's a lot here, and we know a lot of the time when we're explaining things, we're so used to it that we forget the things that you might not know. So yell out and tell us all that.
And I might, I don't know if I told you this, Pam, but I might be creating a eRank course that is going to be free that we're hoping to potentially roll out next month.
Oh, fab. That sounds good.
So that's something that I can't say anything else about other than that it's free. Because I want to say that it's free so people are like, she's selling another course. No, it's free. And I believe that it's going to be a part of eRank. We're going to build it in. So
excellent. That sounds really cool.
Mm-hmm. something short. It's not going to be like a big, long, like 12-hour thing. But we definitely understand the overwhelm of arriving at eRank and being like, okay, now what? There's so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, that's something we're all trying to work on. So I really look forward to seeing what Starla's got. Susanna, what about monthly or quarterly badges? Sounds great. I would absolutely, all the things. Keep them coming, guys. Yay. And Bryan,
Oh.
you take eRank, so I'll definitely take the course. Fantastic.
Perfect.
And ask all the questions. You are the people that we definitely want to hear from, that are looking and going, what is that? Because quite often we've seen it too often that we don't realize that it doesn't necessarily make sense the first time you see it. So let us know.
And over in the Facebook group, Anna had asked, she wanted to know about a question about collages. She's wondering about the rules on Etsy regarding thumbnails for party printables. Did you want to answer that one, since we're out of questions?
Yep, sure. I was just going to fetch that as well. So cool. Yeah. So Etsy and their visibility page and stuff will give you warnings if a listing has your initial photo is a collage. Now, how much that impacts your actual ranking compared to how much Etsy's warning you that in general customers prefer simpler photographs, so it might hurt your conversion down the line? Not entirely sure, but if something like a collage photo is absolutely needed to explain what your item is, if everybody else in your niche is doing a similar thing and your listing is doing really well, leave it alone. Sales trump everything else. So if it's working, if that's what is needed to explain to your customer and the customers are clicking and buying, it's good enough. If your listing isn't doing so great and you want to test, you can test and see, is there a way to take a picture that isn't getting flagged as a collage? And I'm saying not getting flagged because even if you put like a few cards on a white background and took a picture, that Etsy, it's a bot, not a person, it might think that's a collage. So test it and see if you're seeing any difference with and without a collage picture. But honestly, I've done some tests I've messed around to take some pictures, drop them down resolution low enough to get flagged by Etsy, and swapped in and out pictures like that, and I've seen no difference with my ranking. So that's take that with that what you will. But if it's selling, leave it alone. It's just a warning by Etsy.
Jelly Bean, we actually answered this question a little bit ago, which I'm actually going to screenshot it and send it to Anthony to just further let him know that we need to make this update. So you are looking in our competitor tools at your own shop. Our competitor listing tool is an average, and it's only about 80% accurate because Etsy does not share that information. Basically, we've created an algorithm that gives us the closest possible guess. And it's still useful for identifying, which listings are most popular with competitors. But if you're trying to look at your own data, you're seeing, again, that average, because it would not be cool of us to, show how much money competitors are making, right? That's too much PII. You want to be looking at your listings within the listing audit overview page. That is going to give you the sales for your shop that day. Now, what we're going to be working on, because we technically have your own sales data, as long as you've connected your shop to eRank, what Anthony is going to try to do is ensure that when you are looking yourself up in the competitor tools page, which, granted, that's not what the competitors tool is for. It's not meant to look at yourself. But we are going to start redirecting and making sure, or hopefully redirecting and making sure, that we're pulling data based on your shop so that you're getting the actual number as opposed to the average that would be applied if you were looking up a competitor. But for now, if you're wanting to see your actual sales and revenue, you need to make sure that you're doing that via the listing audit page until we're able to get in and pull that data from your shop for that particular tool.
Yeah, can I just double check as well where you're seeing that? Because if you go into your shop in the competitors, it's labeled top shops in the URL. If you go into that, as Starla says, that's going to be estimated sales. The competitor's sales page, you see the total sales for the shop rather than an individual listing. This does come from the Etsy API, but there's a couple of different things with that you might be seeing why it's off. Firstly, sales and orders aren't the same figure. This confuses a lot of people. If you're in your dashboard and you go into your orders page, that will be a different number than if you go and view your shop on Etsy and it shows you the number of sales. Because you can, right, I always muddle these up, but you can have a person purchase a number of items. Yeah, that's it. They can purchase a number of items. That's one order, but you've sold several items. So the number of sales can be different. And also, if you have to cancel an order, what can happen is Etsy takes a while for that cancel to come out. So you might have made 5 sales one day, but something you cancelled 3 days ago, Etsy suddenly crediting your account with. So you might have gone up one less than you think because the cancellations come out. But yeah, absolutely. We also do need to, as Starla says, take that. Say to Anthony, we can absolutely make our tools better for you. If you've connected your shop, we are able to tell you data, and I know we're definitely looking into doing that.
All right. And last question, Michael had asked, Christmas in July or August, summer sales a good idea? I always say, what's the worst that could happen? If the worst that could happen is you waste 2 seconds and you don't make any money, then hey, if the worst that could happen is nobody buys, then it's probably not that big of a deal, so go for it. Test it out.
Yeah. You're not hurting your shop by having a listing that people aren't buying if all of your competitors are also not buying just now. You're all at the same space for that kind of thing. So yeah, give it a shot. Having 1, 2, 20 listings that don't sell is not a big deal.
All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for hanging out. We appreciate you. Make sure that you head back to the eRank channel to get the webinar link that Pam and Bryan are going to be doing on Tuesday at what time?
A week on Tuesday. I think it's the 15th or something.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it. But you guys can set your notifications now if you go over to the channel and click the live tab. Just look for the stream with the picture of Pam and Bryan on it. But yeah, guys.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.
It wasn't easy, no, but with eRanks